Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's reverse dye a V-neck dress. I purchased this dress from Walmart on the clearance rack. It's a Terra and Sky brand and it is 95% cotton and 5% spandex. I have the dress turned inside out, so the things that you see kind of sticking out from the dress are the pockets. I don't want to make this dress too busy, so I'm going to just tie some random sinew lines in the dress. I'm choosing to use sinew because of the wax coating. I am going to do a reverse dye process on this dress, which means I'm going to remove part of the color. If I would just use, say, rubber bands or kite string, when I place this dress down inside of the color remover, it's going to remove all the color from the dress, which I don't want. So I'm going to use sinew, and the wax coating is going to form kind of a waterproof barrier that won't allow the color remover under that line. So I'm still going to have part of the black remaining from the original dress. You can tie as many sinew lines in the dress as you'd like. If you'd like to have more black left, then tie quite a few sinew lines. To remove part of the color from this dress, I'm going to use a product called Out White Brite Laundry Whitener, and I purchased mine from Walmart. It's usually on the laundry aisle, and it's normally by the bleach products. Even though it's not a bleach product, that's where they place it in my store. It won't damage the fabric like bleach, but it will remove the color, and it does it pretty quickly. If you can't find any at your local store, I have a link down below in the description for this video for where you can purchase some from Amazon. I'm going to remove the color from a lot of things all at the same time, so I've placed them all down inside of a plastic tub or tote. And I'm going to do this process outside because Out White Brite does have a smell, which I don't want in my dye space, and I'm going to wear my respirator for this entire process as well. I don't want to inhale any of the fumes, and I definitely don't want to inhale any of the Out White Brite powder. I'm going to start by liberally sprinkling the Out White Brite over the top of all my items. Then I'm going to pour a couple of pots of boiling hot water over the top. The minute the boiling hot water hits the Out White Brite, it starts to foam and immediately remove the color. If you'll notice, some of the items have already had most of the color removed. Because I have so many things in this container, I really ideally would love to have them covered with the Out White Brite solution. That's not going to happen though. But what I am going to do is I'm going to use some metal tongs, which I purchased from the Dollar Tree Dollar Store, and I'm going to move my items around inside of this container. I want to rotate them so that the items on the top get down underneath the Out White Brite solution. Then as they have the color removed, I'm going to take them out of this container and go rinse them in cold water. It really doesn't take a long time to have the color removed from part of these items. It takes a little bit longer on a few of them that are tied pretty tightly. I'm also going to go ahead and sprinkle just a little bit more of the Out White Brite into the solution. I'm going to go ahead and speed the video up, but when an item looks like it's had all the color removed, I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the Out White Brite solution, take it to my utility sink and rinse it in cold water. And then, leaving the item tied throughout this whole entire process, I'm going to place the item into my washing machine and wash it with some Dharma's Professional Textile Detergent in a cold water cycle. It really doesn't matter whether you wash these items in hot, warm, cold. I am washing them to get out any of the residue from the Out White Brite process and part of the smell. I know some tie-dyers have complained about the smell lingering from using Out White Brite, but I haven't really had that problem. And I think part of it is because not only do I rinse after I use it, but I go ahead and wash the items. And I use the textile detergent, which helps get out some of that residue and smell. After washing the items, I'll place them inside of a soda ash solution and allow them to soak for about 20 to 30 minutes. I want to make sure that they get well saturated with soda ash. By the way, I do not use my regular soda ash solution to soak items that have been reverse dyed or previously dyed. So maybe if I'm correcting or fixing a shirt that has been tie-dyed, but I wasn't happy with the way it turned out, I have a special soda ash solution that I use for those items. I'll normally take my older soda ash solution and repurpose it for the reverse dyes, and then mix up a new soda ash solution to use for my white items. Whenever you soak something that has either been previously dyed or reverse dyed, some smell comes out into the water as well as some color. In the case of this batch, I soaked all of these items in the same soda ash solution, and some of the blue color from that blue item sitting on top of the Out White Brite solution leached out into my soda ash. I'll add a photo of that so that you guys can see it. I don't really want to soak white items in a blue soda ash solution, so that's the reason why I don't reuse it after I've used it for reverse dyed items. It also usually has a little bit of a funky smell, so normally I just discard it after I soak all my reverse dyed items. Once I've soaked my items in the soda ash solution, I wring them out of my Panda spin dryer and place them aside and allow them to dry out completely. Some of these items could be dyed when they're still damp, but for the most part, I allow them to dry out completely. Most of the folds that I have in this tub are fairly thick, so because they are thick folds, I like to dye them when they're dry. And if you'd like a little more information about that, I have a blog post out on my website where I talk about this topic a little bit more. I also have a link down below in the description for my website. With the black lines in the dress, I wanted to use some really bright colors, so I've chosen Fuchsia from Grateful Dyes, Cosmic from Dye Spin, and Bahama Blue from Dharma Trading Company. For my setup, I have a plastic tub or tote, and then I have an expandable and collapsible colander, which I've placed over the top of the plastic tote. I'm going to place the dress down inside of the colander and apply the ice over the top of the dress. As you can see, the color was removed from the dress, but it didn't take it to a white. It took it to kind of a yellow taupey color. Now I'm going to sprinkle the dye over the top of the ice. I'm not expecting a lot of color splits with these dyes. Fuchsia in particular is considered more of a pure dye color that doesn't split. The Bahama Blue, I don't really expect a lot of splits from it either. Cosmic does split quite a bit, but I don't know how much I'm going to see that on this dress. The purpose for choosing the colors that I did is I wanted them to be bright, and I wanted them to be dark enough colors to cover over the kind of yellow taupey color that the dress turned after part of the color was removed. Now I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of additional dry soda ash over the top of the dye and place this container aside and allow the ice to melt. After the ice melted, I placed this colander down inside of another plastic tote, put the lid on top of it, and placed it outside and allowed it to process out in the heat. I left it for about 24 hours before I began rinsing it. To rinse the dress, I took it to my utility sink and I began rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. I warmed the water up to hot, and then I untied the dress and continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Instead of rinsing for a long time, I ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added some Blue Dawn dish detergent to the water, and then I placed the dress inside the hot water and allowed it to soak. I was actually rinsing out quite a few items all at the same time, so I went ahead and put most of those items in the same hot water soaked together. Most of them were close in color, and the Blue Dawn dish soap is going to help keep any of the color that is soaked out of those items from redepositing or rebonding with a different item. When the water cooled off, I changed it out, and then I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I put the dress along with the rest of the items that I was soaking into my washing machine, and I washed them all using a hot water cycle. Okay, so I've washed, dried, and ironed this dress, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think this one turned out looking really pretty. It has got a lot more of the fuchsia than it does the other two colors, but I'm actually okay with that. There are hints of purple, and then from the Bahama blue, I ended up with kind of a greenish type color down at the very bottom. The back of this dress hangs just a little bit lower than the front of the dress, so you may notice that in the photos. So I thought I was doing my lines diagonally, and I do have a couple of them going diagonally. A couple of the other ones ended up a little bit more just horizontal, but I don't think it looks bad on the dress. I actually really like the fact that I don't have a whole bunch of lines on the dress. I didn't want it to be too busy. I wanted to let the lines be an accent, but the color of the dress really be what shines. And I think it works for this dress. I think it turned out, like I said, really pretty. I tried to get an accurate color representation of this dress. It's a little bit difficult because I think it was photographing a little brighter than it really is. It's not quite as intense as the photos show, but it's close. So overall, I really love this dress. I think it turned out beautiful. But what do you guys think? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.